Tyrese, I guess, what kind of led to the slow start for you guys tonight?
We wasn't into the ball, wasn't like aggressive like we had been a couple games, but I mean, it definitely was a slow start. But after that, we really picked it up. Won the last 3 quarters. That was good effort by us.
Nick was talking about how I guess he didn't like to pick up points for you guys on the defensive end of the floor. I guess kind of what changed maybe allowed you guys to start picking them up a little early.
Nothing. We just, kind of just picked up the physicality. Uh, I think we're a group that doesn't like to get punched in the mouth, and when it happens, we respond, and that's what we did. So, I'm happy about that.
Tyrese, you basically have always been a low turnover player. You 5 out there tonight. I guess what happened, and how much of that was them versus stuff that you.
A couple of them. One time, I got hit in my arm, turnover. The last turnover I had, I thought Joel was popping. He been popping a lot, so there he was popping to the 3. He rolled, so I threw it behind him. Can't remember the other turnovers. I think one time I was about to shoot. Joel screamed at me. I tried to throw it to him late, but it happens. I don't turn the ball over often, so I guess sometimes when you're passing to get assists too, like when you're trying to get your teammates open, it happens. So it's okay.
What do you guys do to come out and have better starts? Just overall in general.
I think our first quarter starts have been pretty good. Our first quarter starts have been good. Our third quarter has been really bad. Third quarter was good today. We played good, so we kind of reversed it. But honestly, you just got to go out there and kind of take the fight to others. But like I said, the first quarter has actually been good. The last, what game is 4 games. So, it just happens. It happens like that. And they made some shots. They made some big shots. They made some middies, made some threes. But then after that, I feel like we forced them to miss shots. You know what I'm saying? We got in the ball, impacted the body, and I made them miss a couple times.
When you guys are on the drop, what do you guys have to do to keep people like Pritchard and people who like to snake and get into the mid-range out of that spot in order to start getting stops there?
Right. It's a little difficult. You got to impact the body. You got to get over the screen. You got to fight after you get over the screen, fight to get back in front. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's our job. We know what our role is. We know Joe probably going to be in a drop, and he's going to try to protect the rim. So that's what we have to do. There's no excuses for it. It's just we work on it every single day. So it's what it is.
This was the first time this season that Joe has played down the stretch in crunch time. Just what did that do for you guys? Just having his presence there, and just I guess how do you sort of work him back into that type of situation moving forward?
Well, I think it was good. I think a couple of times, he created some traffic in there to where some guys got some open threes. He made some free throws. He got fouled a couple of times, and then he got a couple of blocks. Just down the stretch, he was in the way. So I think it was good. He's Joel. He knows how to play the basketball at the end of the game. He's played a lot of basketball, in the game basketball. So, he was solid.
Tyrese, you in the 4 of the 5 games, you guys have been down double digits in those games. I guess, why do you think that's a trend that's emerging, and how do you sort of stop that trend?
We don't want it to be a trend. But the main thing is slow third quarters. You know what I mean? If we've been winning or close to winning in all those games going into half, then we have slow third quarter, really bad third quarter, and then we come back in the fourth and play like how we was playing in the first and the second. Tonight, we played really slow the first quarter, had a really bad first quarter. The rest 3 quarters, we were really good. We won every quarter after that. So I think we did a good job of just being resilient, but we have to put together 48-minute basketball games. And once we do that, I think we'll be even better.
Tyrese, the lineups with you, Q, VJ, and Kelly, basically regardless who's at center, have been really good through this first 5 games. I guess just what allows that look to be successful? What makes it difficult for other teams to guard?
I think you have a lot of shooting out there, have a lot of playmaking out there, and you got 4 guys that want to get up and down and play fast. And we kind of all know that. And we kind of all know we had to work a lot during the preseason and during the training camp when Q got here. But we started really working on it because we knew Joel wouldn't be playing as many minutes as normal. So we knew that group would be playing a lot of minutes out there on the floor together. So Bona and Drum, and even when Joel's in with us, we know how to play. We know how to play fast. We know how to get the biggest thing is getting the ball in the paint, creating for each other. When we do that, then we're really good. We got to keep that going. Get in the paint, create for your teammate.
What have you seen? What's it been like so far with you and VJ together?
It's been great. VJ's been really good. He's done a good job of just playing and being himself. I think that's the biggest thing. He's done, for a rookie, he hasn't wavered or hasn't deferred, which we don't want him to. We don't want him to defer. We want him to go out there and be who he is. Same thing with Jared when he gets back. Go out here and be who you are. Within the offense, of course, within the flow, but Nurse does a good job of just installing confidence in everybody, and I think we've all, as a group, been a pretty confident group, and we're going to keep pushing that forward.
With Joel, you've obviously had years to build the chemistry, the timing, all that, in the two-man actions. Is there anything specifically that you've told, like VJ or even Quentin, who hasn't played with him much, to try to accelerate what their two-man stuff looks like?
Right. I think the biggest thing, BJ does a good job because he plays pick and roll really, really slow. But the biggest thing, you got to slow down. You got to let it develop. Sometimes it develops differently. Teams do a lot of different things in coverages with Joel because he's so hard to guard. So sometimes they switch, sometimes they drop, sometimes they late, sometimes they try to chase you all the way inside the three and force you to throw it back to Joel, and then he has to shoot a three. But you got to know the coverages. You got to know what they're doing that day. And once you figure that out, it's pretty easy. Sometimes you just give number 21 and he shoots it and scores it. So.
DJ, I guess what kind of led to your mind? What do you think I led this last night?
I mean, it happens. So we just keep up our better energy, to be honest. Trying not to get down when making tough shots. It's them good. They're gonna make tough shots. So what happens? So it happens. They keep making tough shots after tough shots. And we could stay with it a little more instead of letting the league get to a certain deficit. But I'm proud of our effort to come back. I'm sure we're not gonna give up. So yeah.
Now that you've got 4 games under your belt with playing with Joe, just what are the biggest things you've learned about playing with him, playing off of him, just sort of building that early chemistry with him?
Just stay ready at all times. He's gonna get you in there. He's a willing passer, someone that's gonna require so much attention. Yeah, he's gonna get you the ball. So just staying ready the whole time. Playing off, just playing off, like you said, and different things like that.
Like that 3 you hit towards the end of the game, is that an example of that where he got doubled and then you were open?
Yeah, just gotta stay ready. Be ready to shoot the ball. So yeah.
We talked to you in the preseason camp about the work you've done on the shot. And the numbers have obviously been there early. How do you feel about? Do you feel the work you did in the offseason translating to how the shot looks and feels come out of your hand?
Nah, definitely. He says it's just a bunch of work. Every time just shoot game shots in practice. And I'm working out or just getting them shots, make sure it's game shots. So it can help, so it can translate to the game. So that's what I did. We'll continue doing it. Just because I'm making shots now, it don't mean I'm gonna stop shooting the ball. I mean, I'll stop putting up my shots or stop my reps or anything like that. I'm gonna stay in the gym, keep doing the same thing,
Playing your first back-to-back this week and just playing a ton of minutes overall. How are you feeling, and what are you doing to adjust to that?
The back-to-back, obviously it's a different routine than that second game. Still trying to find that, but it was tough for me personally. First back-to-back, 40 minutes back-to-back game. I don't know if I can prepare myself for that, but I'm glad I had to go through it. Glad I went through it. Now I know how to approach the second game at the end of the back-to-back. So yeah.
Just overall with how demanding the schedule is with, 3-4 games a week, sometimes 5 games a week. Just are you just experimenting with routine stuff? Are you seeking advice from people? Like, how are you sort of learning how just to handle the day-to-day and what comes with all of that?
Yeah, I'm seeking advice from different players. Everyone knows me through back to back. So they all tell me different things they do to get ready for the game, things they don't do, and like I said, I'm still experimenting with different routines also, seeing which one works best for me.
Who taught you how to watch film?
Pardon?
Who taught you how to watch film?
Who taught me how to watch film? Yeah, I'm be honest, I just learn from different people. Different people watch film differently. And I just take aspects of them, like being around the national team, even my high school coaches, college coaches, everyone watch film differently. And that's where I get. That's how we watch film. That's how they learn from it.
Young guys tend to have to learn how to do that too, but you seem to be good at it already. And I just wonder how you kind of eliminate the clutter and the nose to really know what you're looking at when you're looking at it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, I feel like you're just watching basketball, and especially when watching a certain team, you try to pick on their tendencies, try to look at certain players they've done or different players where they like to shoot the ball. of what hand or just anything like that. Do they like to go left and pass, or do they shoot off the left hand? Or just little things like that. We just pay close attention to. And then, analytics is big now, so you can tell. You just look at the analytics and see, okay, he can shoot going right or he can't shoot, just little things like that.
Speaking of the tendencies thing, this is the first NBA team you played twice in the regular season. Did you notice Boston play you any differently tonight versus game one, and how do you think you cope with that?
Yeah, feel just a little more aggressive tonight, and guarding me. Obviously, first game of the season as a rookie, nobody know you feel, or they don't know how you play with it. So that's how I was able to get off. But tonight, like I said, it did guard me a little differently, but it didn't really affect me for real. We could have been more aggressive in certain areas, but so just learn from it. Now I got to get through how teams will probably guard me from here on out. So just be able to prepare for it.
It was obviously the first time you played down the stretch in crunch time for the game this year. Just how did that feel, just being in those types of moments?
I was tired. That's why they should let me play more minutes. Until you kind of get in that position, you don't know what it feels like. So, but I guess it's a good start. And you get used to it and you find your rhythm. But I was a little bit tired. There's nothing like playing basketball. That's how you get, in better shape.
What do you think led to the slow start tonight?
I think defense. We did a much better job from towards the end of the half and the second half, but that's where it starts. Gotta get into you, man. Gotta get stops. Gotta be aggressive. Gotta take pride in guarding your man. I think, as much as everybody has been so excited about the good start, I feel like my mentality is all about how can we get better. How we gonna compete against some of the best teams in the NBA, and I feel like the first couple of games our defense hasn't been there. And I know offensively we've been good, but defensively we just haven't been there. And then tonight, I like the effort that we played with, and we weren't gonna go 82-0. Sucks to lose, but I'm actually happy. I'm excited about this loss. I think we learned a lot, and we got a lot to get better at.
You mentioned the defense. I think coming into tonight, I think we're 24 from defensive rating. I guess how do you take steps forward on that as we go?
I think we got them. Obviously, we're missing some guys that could help, but as I'm getting back to myself, and tonight I felt I was also, step, towards getting there. I was much better defensively than I've been the first couple of games. I feel like, me offering, the prices that I usually offer, in the past, it hasn't been there, and I know it, and, I'm getting there. Tonight was a start, like I said, but that's where, we gotta make sure we take more part into, guarding our own man, making sure that, no one blows by us, because a lot of times, I think a lot of people, early on, they've been able to get to the rim pretty easily. But I think tonight we saw that we can do it, and we gotta build on it.
What goes into what's going on with some of the rough starts? And, Tyrese talked about some of the rough starts at different points in the game. A couple times it's second quarter or first quarter. A couple times it's second, third quarter. What can you guys do to kind of avoid some of those?
I don't know. I think it's just mentality. It's just playing hard. I think we're playing hard, but I know us. I've seen it. I know other guys in this locker room. I know, all of us, we got more. I know that we got, the qualities to, be a winning team. So we just got to go out there and show it and execute. Us, the way we played in the second half, guarding those guys, we can do it. We did it. So gotta build on it. I've seen it. I know we can do it. So just gotta, be more consistent and just start up there, from the start. Not kind of, get into the game and figure it out, what they're actually doing. And there's nothing like, playing defense is all about everything. But like I said, I'm part of the guys and the effort that we put in, and coming back from down 20-some points, and then I know we lost, like I said, but I'm excited because I feel like we grew up tonight.
What do you think of this new Celtics team battling every year? It's a little bit of a different roster based on a couple of times this year.
When you're missing Jason Tatum, so you're not going to be as good as usual. Still a pretty good team. They got the Finals MVP, 6th Man of the Year. Darryl White is a gold medalist, pretty good player. And then they got Minor that's been playing well. Keda is doing a fine job. So they still got some players. Just like feels like a new team that lost a lot of guys, but they're still gonna be good. The way they shoot the ball, they're not many threes they take. They're always gonna be in games, but that's not a team you should dismiss just because they lost. Jason Tatum. They're gonna be fine.
The last shot
two
that
questions.
you took at the game, how did it feel coming off your hand?
Terrible because I had 0.5 o'clock, something like that. Well, I don't even know. I just felt like I just had to do it. Could have done a better job, but we should have been with a 1-8. But it is what it is.
How different?
Last question.
How different is the energy, vibe, everything so far this season compared to that slog you all had to go through last year?
Obviously, everything is on the better just because you're winning games. And last year was just a disaster. Guys, me mainly not being able to play, not being at my best, and a couple other guys missing games and missing most of the season. Obviously, you can't get worse than that. So anything better than that is already a good feeling. But it feels good. We got a good group of guys. As we get back together, trying to include everybody. But the goal is to win the game. Win games, and we've so far we've improved, but I still feel like we got a long way to go.
Nick, what do you think led to the slow start tonight?
I don't know. I mean, I think give them a lot of credit. Obviously, they came in, pushing it pretty hard and playing pretty aggressive, and I don't know. We just back on our heels a little bit. Didn't really like where our pickup points were on defense, and we shook out of it with about 5 minutes to go in the second. We finally got up and started meeting the ball, getting into the ball a little bit. The one thing we couldn't shake out of was the long rebounds tonight. They just kept chasing all the long rebounds tonight. So I would say that the lack of pickup point defensively led to the slow start. Yeah.
You obviously ended up getting a clean look at it at the end, but what was the design on that final play?
It's got a few things going on there. You got Joel going off a flare screen. You got Tyrese coming off kind of a pin down off of, and VJ heading to the basket. That Tyrese and VJ got hung up a little bit. And, obviously there was a couple guys open, but Q kind of, didn't handle it cleanly. I think it wasn't great. I would, obviously when you don't make those, you wish you would have done something different. But it's a good play, and we had all our right guys in there, obviously. Didn't quite, that they did a good job of holding us through it. We couldn't quite shake them to get free,
That was the first time that Joel's kind of played down the stretch
Mhm.
of the game. Just what you think of him in that particular pocket?
Yeah, so it's kind of the first time we were in that situation where he had a chunk of minutes left, and we're trying to decide,
which way to go with it, and almost felt like we were able to kind of do a little bit of both of what we've been doing, which is start boning in the fourth and create some defensive energy and a few different schemes and stuff, and obviously worked pretty good. But yeah, I thought he was good. He I thought he was good at both ends down the stretch, obviously.
Nick, the lineup and towards the end of the third quarter with Edgecombe, Grimes, Trendon, Edwards, and Drummond, that was kind of like where the tide kind of escalated into a double-digit deficit again. I guess what was the deciding factor for you?
Yeah, I mean, just got to trying to find some minutes for these guys. You got 3 guys pushing 40, minutes, and that's what we're doing. I think that getting Tyrese out there was, again, that one went against a little bit what we thought we were going to do. Again, like I said this to you yesterday, we got a lot going on, right? And usually I'm taking Tyrese out to end the third because Joel is coming back in the fourth, and I want to pair them together, right? But then we end up flipping that, so that kind of ended up not being a great thing to do. If we could go back and restart there, I would, and knew what I was going to do with Joel, I probably would have had Tyrese in down the stretch there. Yeah.
Nick, you had some issues rebounding the ball in the second half of this game. Do you think that was
Just a second?
Just
a second.
I think it was more noticeable.
It felt like it for 48 minutes, but thanks for that.
Did you think that was a product of, you guys play small a lot, a lot of guards on the floor, or was that just issues with communication?
I want to look at it, but if I had to guess right now, I don't think the size had that much to do with it. I mean, I think they're playing small too, right? It's not like maybe they're a little bit bigger around the board, but I'll bet once I go back and look at it, I bet when they're taking these threes, we are running too far into the paint rather than keeping some type of a wall on a little bit more on the perimeter, free throw line area, et cetera. I bet we're running by a lot of those that are bouncing, and most of them were bouncing free throw line and further, and I'm guessing our guys were in the paint. That's kind of what I saw live, but I think it'll probably show in the film too.
No, what did you make of EJ's game tonight? You ended up with, I think it was 17, 5 and 5. So I felt looking at the game, maybe you got lost in the offense a little bit at times tonight.
Yeah, I think he wasn't alone in the lackluster energy at the start, right? That to me is like something you got to learn. Like you got to learn that these games come really fast in this league, and you got to be able to get yourself ready to go physically, mentally, et cetera. I think that's the same was in Washington a little bit, but I think we talked about he's a young guy that he's going to have to learn. Lots to learn and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think that, again, if I have to probably, without looking at the film, say that we didn't get into enough of the spread type offense and get him enough chances to, when he did score, it was usually off a little bit of a kick back and boom, there he was downhill. We just didn't do that enough, probably. Yeah.
How would you evaluate Tyrese tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he was good. I thought a lot of minutes again, so he's carrying a heavy load. Don't think it was super easy for him. Lots of physicality, lots of holding. I don't think he got discouraged by it. I think that again, guys, broken record time. I'm trying to get him to find some more stuff in transition before it gets too grindy for him. Before it gets too grindy for him, and just because 48 minutes of that's got to get old, right? So, or 43 minutes of it, whatever it is, it's still a lot. But no, I thought he made some really good reads late. I thought he really picked up his defense late after it wasn't it was all of those guys. They were just not at a pickup point that we were happy with until about 4 minutes to go in the second quarter, 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Right, so we got to learn that for sure. That we got to get out and start and put a little bit more. I mean, look at the two halves, 68 versus 41. It wasn't like you say, we just can't guard them. We got to make sure we guard them. Yeah.
Last couple of questions.
It's crazy early, but what do you see potentially with VJ and Maxey? blocks together. They might be able
Yeah, I think there's a great combination there, David. I think that they're similar in that they both got pretty explosive first steps to get by. Obviously, Tyrese is a great deep three point shooter. He's got a few years on him, but I think it's a good combination where they can both play on and off the ball. I think they should be able to play. They have played extremely well together, and I think that relationship will continue to grow, and they'll learn a lot of how they can play off each other. Yeah, it's been good. It's been exciting. VJ's been obviously a nice surprise, and I've been saying it I've not been here 3 years, but I've been saying for about 5 years how special Maxey is, even when I was coaching against him.